Hey everybody, and we are ready to get started with Landing Pages 101. I am excited to be able to share this information with you guys because no matter what line of business you're in, it is time for you to have an online presence, and it is time for you to take advantage of being able to market to people outside of your particular area. It is time for you to put yourself in a position where you're able to build relationships and you're able to build community. So let's talk about landing pages, because landing pages are going to be the first step to really put you and your business in a position where you're able to build community, you're able to connect with people, you're able to grow at a rate and really get people through the buying cycle and the purchasing cycle faster, right? Landing pages are going to be one of the foundational things that can enable this for you. So we want to make sure that you are locked and loaded and know exactly what you are doing when it comes to landing pages. So I'm going to go ahead and throw myself off of the screen. You guys in the chat, do me a favor. I want to make sure that you can actually see my screen. So if you can, go ahead and put a 1 in the chat box. If you cannot, let's go ahead and put a 2 in the chat box, and we will get this thing rolling. Awesome. Okay, well, let's get started. Again, my name is Juanika Cuthbertson. I am founder and and president of Ladypreneur Academy. And I'm excited to be able to share with you guys on today a little bit of knowledge about landing pages. And landing pages, if you take it seriously, can absolutely change your life and can absolutely change your business. So as we get into what we're going to cover today, we're going to talk about what is it? What is a landing page? Some of you guys may have heard of it. Some of you guys may be vaguely knowledgeable on it. Some of you guys may be landing page pros. I hope that each and every one of you are able to get something out of this training today, because if you take it seriously, it can change your business. It can change the way that you interact with your prospects. It can change a lot of different things for you. And then we'll talk about why you need it. It's very important. We are in the 21st century and things are moving digitally. So you want to make sure that you have a digital platform for your business to be able to communicate to your customers, to your clients, to your prospects. We'll talk about how to set it up. We'll talk about best practices and where you can find it. So let's go ahead and jump into it. What is a landing page? A landing page is just a tool that helps you build community by generating leads that can eventually contribute to your buying base. Now, we all know that buying bases are important because these are the people that are going to spend their money with you. These are the people that are going to help you to be successful financially. These are the people that are going to really change the game for your business. Now, when you think about your buying base, we always talked about building a community around your brand. Why? Because community equals cash. Community equals coins, community equals customers. So you can't build a community without effectively being able to communicate with people. And you can't effectively communicate with people if you don't have a means to communicate, meaning you don't have a list that you can build, meaning that you don't have the contact information for the people so that you can actually begin to get in contact to communicate with them regularly. So a landing page is what's going to be the medium that gives you that connection point, right? People are going to come to this page and they're going to share their information with you so that you can contact them at a later date. Now, there are many different types of lists that you can build from landing pages. You can get people's cell phone information and you can send them text messages. You can get people to enroll in an app or some type of online mechanism, and you can send push down notifications to their devices, or you can actually send emails. Of course, you can always do it the old-fashioned way. If you want to get people's addresses, you can actually send them direct mailings. But we are going to talk for the purpose of email providers in this particular training, just because I think it's the most efficient way to contact a number of people at a time. But before you can begin contacting, you have to get contact information. So let's talk about the different types of landing pages that you can actually run across as a business owner, right? You have your lead page, And a lead page just creates your list. It gives you a list of contact information of your customers, your clients, your prospects, so that you can communicate with them effectively. Now, there's a lead form where you can have the contact information box or the contact form, or you can request their contact information in a smaller setting on top of a larger website. So if you've ever been to a company's website and you see something that's a full blown website, but they do have contact information available for you to be able to put in your name, your email address to sign up for their newsletter or to sign up for bonuses or to sign up for whatever. That's a lead form. A form just means that it's your ability to put your contact information on a form within a larger website, right? Then you have a sales page. This is going to be more so your infomercial, because you're able to provide details on a product or service, and then you can present an offer. So as you're going through your sales page, you want to give as much information as humanly possible, depending on whether it's long form or short form, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But you're giving more detailed information on what you're offering, and then you actually have an opportunity to sell to this person. Then you have your thank you page, where you thank a customer for their input, and then you have the opportunity to present them with an irresistible offer that they cannot refuse. This can be an upsell. This can be something else that you offer in additional to a freebie. But we'll go into all that information about how to make sales and how to make sure that you're collecting additional income later. But right now, let's just focus on the landing pages. Some other types of landing pages, we have your content page. This could be like a blog or an informational page where you share knowledge or information without presenting an offer to a customer. And then you have your microsite. A microsite allows you to provide detailed information on multiple subjects. So this is more like a Linktree page, a menu setting, and I'll give you guys a good example of that a little bit later. And then we have the product detail page, and it just provides detail on the product. So hope you guys got that information. Let's talk about some tips when you're building out your lead pages and your landing pages. So let's start with lead pages. You want to make sure that you have contrasting colors on your lead page, because that will give you the best conversions. When people are easily able to see a contrast, their eyes go to wherever the emphasis should be. So if you use things that all blend together, a lot of times when customers or clients or prospects are skimming over your information, it's hard for them to find what they're looking for because everything just blends together. So you want to make sure that you're using contrasting colors. As you guys can see, the color scheme of Ladypreneur Academy is always a bright pink, a bright white, and black. Why? Because those colors contrast. So as you see different things, you'll be able to get to the purchase button a lot faster because it'll be a different color than the background. It'll be a different color than the regular wording. It's contrasting colors. And all you really have to do is go to Google, and whatever your main color is, or whatever the main color you want to use is, you can actually put contrasting colors, and it'll show you a diagram of what colors contrast. And from there, you can pick one and then pick the opposite and just make it look good. Always have a photo of a lead magnet, and we'll talk about lead magnets a little later, but just to give you a gist of what it means is you always want to be able to provide your prospects an incentive for exchanging information, right? So people aren't just going to give you their email address just because you want them to, or people surely aren't going to give you their phone number because you want them to. So you have to offer them something of value so that they'll be incentivized to actually give you their contact information in exchange. So you want to have whatever it is that you're offering as a lead magnet or as an incentive, you want to have a photo of it so that people can know exactly what it is that they can be expecting. Then you want to share the purpose, right? What type of benefits am I going to get from this? What can I look forward to? What's the point of me even wanting to have this? And as you share the purpose of the lead magnet, people will be more inclined to give you their contact information in exchange for it. If you're looking to get contact information, remember that your product or service should be solving a problem in the marketplace. So one good thing that you can do is remind the customer of that pain point. What is the need? What is it that they are in need of that your product or service provides a solution for? As you remind them of the pain point and then position yourself as the solution to the pain point, you're always in demand. Remember that. So just keep it simple, remind them of their pain point, and you'll be successful. So let's talk about tips for a lead form. Usually a lead form is a part of a larger website, and this is best for consultants or if you want to do 15-minute consultations and you want to exchange information, but it's not something that's full blown where you're offering a specific product. You want to do a form, right? So this is best for discovery calls because you can easily connect scheduling software to it. So let's say you're a consultant and you want to schedule free 15-minute consultations, right? You don't necessarily need a full lead page to talk about a consultation, especially if the awareness campaign, remember that people go through a purchasing cycle where they need to have first awareness through the first phase, consideration in the second phase, and then they're able to make a decision. A lot of times if you're doing a consulting call, you don't have to add as much value first because the value is going to come through the consideration phase when people actually sit down and talk to you. That's why you don't need the full detailed information page, but you can just do a form connected to a scheduling software. People can schedule their consultation calls with you, and then you're able to provide them the value and eventually get them to the point where you're able to make a sale based off of that call. So I know I went into a lot of details about consultation, but hopefully that was a word to the wise for you consultants out there. Now let's talk about your sales page. This is going to be your infomercial, right? It puts you at a point where you're pretty much selling on a sales page. What does that mean? That means that you want to give detailed information about the product or services that you're about to be offering. Because at this point, they are away from awareness and they're going into consideration, and you want to put them in a point where they're ready to make a decision. Now, as they're ready to make a decision, you want them to have whatever they need at their fingertips to be able to decide to purchase immediately. Right? So the more information you can provide, the better. So it's an infomercial. Let's think about it if it was a real commercial and you didn't want people to have to do a bunch of research on your product or service that they see on TV, on a commercial. You're just ready for them to buy, right? Let's say it's Doritos. People see a Doritos commercial. They want them to see a visual of it, know what it looks like, know what the experience is, so that when they get to the grocery store, they see a bag of Doritos and they're ready to purchase, right? Same thing. So you want to make sure that you include a photo or a video of the product. Videos actually convert a lot better than photos, just so you know. But you want to do this because it increases the know, like, trust factor. What does that mean? Again, companies or people feel like they must know you, like you, and trust you as a company before they'll do business with you. So this will just break down that barrier so that people feel like they know, like, and trust you a lot faster. So you want to share 3 to 5 benefits that this product or service will offer to your prospects as they think about whether or not they want to purchase. Include testimonials. This is big. A lot of times when you're selling something, people have no idea whether or not it works. Let's think about if you were selling some type of, I always go to hair products, whatever. Let's say you were selling some type of hair product, right? And you have no idea as a customer whether or not it works, whether or not it does what it says it's supposed to do. The way that you fill that gap between customers' trust and distrust is to have testimonials. Think about how many people go online or go on Yelp or go on YouTube or search for reviews on products and services before they buy them. You want to include testimonials so that you can provide this information up front so they won't have to go searching for these things on your product or services. Trust me, it's going to make it easier for you guys. Now, here I have, if you don't have any testimonials, use case studies. What that doesn't mean is fake it till you make it. What I mean by if you don't have testimonials, sometimes you're going to have to offer things for free to get testimonials, right? You can't expect people to just buy stuff blindly for no real reason. You may have to rely on some family or some friends or some people that you can trust their opinion. And in exchange, you're incentivizing again. In exchange for their testimonial, you're giving them a free product or service. I hope that's making sense. So do a case study. And what I mean by a case study is offer a product or service at no expense to the person and let them study the quality of your product or service and do a review on it. If you have a long form, I know that I mentioned a little earlier the difference between long forms and short forms. So long forms will give you as much detailed information as possible. It will go through all the ins and outs. There's a lot of language that's available. A short form will go in, list the benefits, list the pain points, you're in, you're out. You have to know your audience well enough to know whether or not they're going to actually scroll through all this information and read all this information. And we'll talk about this in the when we go over personality types of customers and clients. But you have to know your client well enough, or your target audience, your avatar, well enough to know whether or not they will scroll through long forms or if they need a short form. If you don't have this information, you can refer back to the market research that you did to see how people like to purchase different products and services in your industry, and make sure that you're aligned with the research, because your customer is essentially telling you what they want to see. So make sure that you have that information available to you so that you won't miss out. And then you want to make sure that you keep the security symbols. So if you are making a sale, trust me, nowadays, guys, people just don't trust nobody, to be completely honest. And one way that you're able to kind of build up that trust factor is to keep the security symbols on your sales page. So if you are using any type of landing page, usually the sales page will come with a certified guarantee, some type of safety seal to let people know that you're not trying to steal their credit card information. You're not trying to steal their payment information. You're not trying to steal their identity or show up at their house, stuff like that. You want to make sure that it's available to them, that they can see it, so they know that you are a viable business that they can trust. And now let's talk about thank you pages. A couple tips here. As you get to the thank you page, you want to let people know that as they came in, they shared their information, that you received it, and now you're sending them the lead magnet. Why is this important? It needs to confirm that the reason why they gave you their contact information is actually been accomplished, right? So do a confirmation that says your lead magnet is on the, well, don't call it a lead magnet, but whatever it is, your template is on the way, or your infographic is on the way, or your training is on the way, or your sample, whatever you use as a lead magnet. Let them know that it's on the way, and thank them for sharing their information with you, because a lot of people probably clicked on your page and decided that they didn't want to give up their email address, because people don't necessarily want to always be bombarded with emails, especially if it sounds salesy. So do yourself and your clients a favor and say thank you. Give them a confirmation. Let them know how they can experience whatever the lead magnet is that they signed up for. Share how they're going to receive it. Is there a link that they should click? Is there something coming to their email address? Is it something coming to their home? Let them know how to expect to receive the lead magnet. And then from there, one thing that I love, and I know that this language is probably new to you guys, I love a tripwire, right? And we will get into details about this in the lead magnet training specifically. But you want to know that the thank you page is where you can make an irresistible offer that people cannot refuse. Now, I personally believe that you should offer a high value product or service to your customers for free as an incentive to get their contact information. Why? You're building community. Why is that important? Because community equals customers, community equals clients, community equals cash, community equals coins, right? So as you build your community, know that you're making this investment into building up the communication to your community will have a return in the long run. So something that you can offer of high value at free or at minimal cost, do it. Offer it to them for free, and then get their contact information first. And then as you're saying thank you or confirming the lead page or confirming the lead magnet, my apologies, make them an irresistible offer on your thank you page. And that's what a tripwire is. A tripwire is something that people stumble upon and cannot get back up. What do I mean? It means that this offer is so great, I couldn't jump over it if I tried. You need to have something available because that's what's going to make you your immediate money. Sound good? If you guys have any questions, again, definitely let me know. But now let's talk about a microsite. A microsite is somewhere where you can put a lot more information or different types of information on one page or one site. Now, I like to think of this as a brand tree. Some of you have heard of Linktree, and you think, why is this important? If you guys are on Instagram at all, you know, or actually a lot of the social media sites now, you're well aware of the fact that you only get one opportunity to provide a link. Well, let's say you want to give information about where they can find your blog, or you want to give information about your landing page, or you want them to be able to see an about you section or something like that. But you only have one link to provide on social media sites. You want to build out what we call a brand tree or a link tree, where it's just a number of different buttons where people can press and they can eventually get to whatever site or whatever page you want them to see easily. Now, you want to use a vanity URL for this. If you guys need a good example, the link that I have in my bio and all my bios are is the ladypreneur.com/menu. Now, if you go to that, you will see my freebies that I have available as lead magnets. You will see an area where you can purchase my book. You will see an opportunity to work with me one-on-one. You will see an opportunity to go directly and learn about Ladypreneur Academy. But I just didn't have the space with one link to be able to offer all of that, which is why I did it in a brand tree. But the point is, you don't want the URL to be so long that people can't get to that site. Does that make sense? So you want to use a vanity URL. My vanity URL is ladypreneur.com/menu. It'll get you right there. But behind it is my lead pages. So it's ladypreneuracademy.lpages.co/Ladypreneur Academy menu or something like that. It's something super duper long. So you want to make sure that you're using a vanity URL just so that you can shorten that and make the experience easier on your prospect. Once you get inside, you want to have an easy to navigate toolbar. You don't want people to have to search all over the place to get to where you want them to go, because if you do that, you'll lose people. People have the attention span of a rabbit nowadays. So you want to make sure that you're able to offer them and direct them to exactly where you want them to go easily. They can find what they need to find easily if you want to make conversions faster. So then you'll have your lead magnet offer. We talked about that. You'll have your information about your brand, your product, or event. We talked about that. It's nice if you put a picture of you, your team, or your brand. On my brand tree and my microsite, I have a lot of pictures, or I have a picture of my logo at the top because I just want to keep it as simple as possible. I don't want people feeling like they have to click over here and click over there. I want them to see the logo, but focus on the links because the links are what's going to make you money, right? And use contrasting colors. Again, you want people to not have to look for things. You want it to pop out to them. So if you go to my brand tree, you'll see every other button is a different color. One is white with pink letters. The next one is pink with white letters. So you want to make sure that you're being creative, but also use contrasting colors. Now, for some of you, you may be in professions where kind of mismatching the way that I did will absolutely positively look funky for you. So use wisdom, but also make sure that you have contrasting colors so people can easily see what it is that you want to offer them. And now let's talk about a content page. Consider up a blog when it comes to content. It could be your social media share page, especially if you're doing a launch. This could be big for you. You want to have a large title so people know that they are at the right place. They know what to expect. You want to have a clear description of content. And then you want to have, you want to be able to link to related content, right? Link to the main site. If you want people to go in and continue reading or something like that, you want to make sure that you are able to offer them that. And then again, you want to offer your lead magnet because ultimately you want to be able to give people an incentive for them to give you their contact information. And lastly, you have your product detail page. Now this is huge because a lot of times when you are presenting yourself to someone as a provider for the first time, they want to know exactly what it is that you have to provide. So videos are the best way to describe a product or service because, again, it breaks down the know, like, trust factor. When people can see you, when people can essentially feel you as they're looking at you or looking at your product, it doesn't always have to be a video of you recording yourself. It could be a video of the product performing, or people can just get a general idea of what to expect. It builds up their trust a lot faster. You want to have page segments. You want to be able to share the benefits. But here's the most important. Keep in mind that people go through the buying cycle that we talked about. There's the awareness phase. There is the consideration phase. And then there's the decision phase, right? When people are at the point where they're ready to make a decision, you want them to be able to click to buy. What does that mean? That means when they're ready to purchase, you don't want to send them to one page that sends them to another page that sends them to another page. Because again, the attention span of a human being is very low nowadays. So if people find it too difficult to get to the purchase, they will absolutely, positively abort mission. And if they abort mission, that means that you just lost the payment. So what you want them to do is be able to get the information that they need in one place, be able to click to purchase, and also, if needed, give you their contact information. Now, the reason why I say if needed is because a lot of times if people are converting faster and they're inclined to purchase, you can actually get their contact information from their purchase order or from their invoice. But you do want to have a contact box just in case somebody visits your site and doesn't purchase. That means that they're still in the consideration phase. So you still want to be able to get information to them to help them to be able to make a well-informed decision. Now, the next thing we would normally do is see if you have any questions. But before we do that, I actually want to show you an example. Let me see if I can come out of here. Share the screen, application window. Okay. So I want to actually go through and show you my lead pages or my landing pages. Now, there are a number of different tools you can use for landing pages. I love lead pages. Some people use ClickFunnels. Some people use whatever. I in particular love to see lead pages just because they're able to offer me a bunch of different things. So as I'm going through and I am sharing this information with you, keep in mind also, as I'm doing this, that as you guys are looking for landing pages and you want to keep your costs low, you don't necessarily have to go out and get a different site for everything. What I mean by that is I use lead pages for my landing pages and I use something else for my email platform. But there are email platforms that have landing pages within them, like MailChimp, for example. I know now they have landing pages. I know that who else? ConvertKit has a bunch of different. Wix has landing pages. Aweber has landing pages. You have a bunch of different things. You got HubSpot have landing pages. It's a bunch of different ones. So anyway, let me show you my tree first so you guys can see exactly what that looks like. So here it is. Here's my logo. And this is what you see. It'll be a lot smaller on a phone, but you want to make sure that everything is mobile responsive. But let's give you an example. This is an example of my branding tree that we talked about. But let's go back and do an example of a lead page. So let's say my digital products guide, right? This is here. You get here and you see contrasting colors. Yes. You also see a description, detail guide, what it is, and then you click the button to get the guide. Before you get anything, you'll have to put your information. So let's put Juanica.Cuthbertson, since I got married, at gmail.com. Send me the guide. What do you see? Thank you page. What is it playing? Information about Ladypreneur Academy and a button to learn more. And then there's a little bit of information. I thank them. I confirm that their freebie is on its way, but now I want to talk about the offer that we have for Ladypreneur Academy. And here's an irresistible offer. 50% off your first month right now. I thank them. I gave them the information that they needed. They know how to expect the lead magnet, which was the digital products template. And now they go back. Let's go to another one. There's an assessment. That's the thank you page. There's an assessment that I did for which business is best for you. So same thing. This form is a little longer, so I have multiple buttons because I don't want them to get down here, read all this information, and then forget that they're supposed to take the free assessment, right? So this is free. The digital products guide was free. But again, it shows you a very large title. You got a button here if you already know exactly what you want to do. But if not, here's a picture that matches the picture that was listed on social media. And then it'll give you a couple benefits that both remind you of pain points and benefits. And then you have the option to take the assessment. But before you take the assessment, what do? Put your name in, put your email address in, then you take the assessment. What's this? A privacy policy. It also talks about the security measures that we talked about. People want to know that they're not being taken advantage of. So those are some examples. So I know sometimes we ask the question, okay, how can I build this thing out? We'll do a training later on. I don't want to get specific into lead pages because I know it's different for different platforms, but I did want to share that with you guys so that you could see exactly what it is that I mean when it comes to doing different landing pages. So now we will open it up for questions. I'm glad that you guys got a chance to see exactly what I meant by lead pages or landing pages. You are exchanging a lead magnet for someone's contact information, and this is the platform that you use to do it. We will get into the next training that talks about email campaigns, because once you get somebody's contact information, once you get their telephone number, once you get their whatever, you'll now be in a position where you can send them emails, you can send them messages, you can send them whatever. So we want to make sure that you guys have that information. But before we jump off of the landing pages, I will pause and see if anybody has any questions. And if not, we will move forward. But I definitely want you to take this week's challenge because you want to build out your landing pages. You want to go and you want to pick out your contrasting colors. You want to begin to build out the images for the product or service that you have. And this is going to take you some time. So pick out your platform. If you need assistance, ask questions about which one you should use, why I use the one that I use. It's a bunch of information that I will have available to you guys, but ask questions and we will definitely get them answered. But the biggest thing is making sure that you are taking advantage of the challenge, right? Challenge yourself this week to pick out your colors, pick out your, pick out the contrast. So pick out your main colors, pick out the contrasting colors, pick out the different things that you know you want to have on your microsite or your brand tree. Pick out a lot of different things. We'll go over lead magnets, we'll go over email campaigns, but we want to begin to get your landing pages built out. So take that challenge. And if you guys don't have any questions, I will see you next week.